For this next one, we're going to look at these two circles, which are these two circles here. And we're going to join them with, again, two curves which just create tangent points here and just create tangent points here. Same with the bottom. It looks a little bit like a small pulley wheel and a big pulley wheel with a belt going in between. The radius of this bottom curve, you can't see it very well on here, but it's 75 millimeters. The radius of the small, slightly less deep belt on the top is 40 millimeters. So what do I know about these two circles? Well, the only thing that I know about them are the radius is 15 on this one, and on this one the radius is 25. The other key point I know is where the centres are. The centres are fixed. On here it tells me, again, it's very difficult to see on the camera, but it's 60 millimeters between these centres, and they're horizontal. So how does that help me? Well, I've got a fixed point here and a fixed point here, which is this one and this one. If I deal with this little belt at the top first of all, that's got a radius of 40. Now the curve comes round and just touches this circle here with a radius of 40. That means that the centre of the bigger circle that's going round there must be 40 millimeters away from here. 40 millimeters up here somewhere. Now I know the radius from the edge of this circle to that centre is 15. So if I add the two of them together, I'll get a total of 55. So I know that the centre I'm looking for up here is going to be 40 plus 15 away from its centre point. So what I can do is set my compass to 55, and I'm going to do that now. Be really careful with this because even the slightest little error can make a difference. So it's set to 55, put the centre of my compass here, that's a fixed point, and I'm just going to draw a bit of an arc. Now somewhere along that line, somewhere along that arc, the centre point of my compass is going to be placed in order to draw the curve which is coming round and joining these two circles here. But I don't know whereabouts it is. I know the radius I'm going to set it to, I know the radius is going to be 40, but I don't know where I'm going to place the compass point. In order to find that, I'm going to look at this circle, and I'm going to use the same thinking on this one. This curve is coming round and it's just touching the edge of the circle and it's going off into the distance somewhere, the same way that this was. So that bigger circle there, which we can't see, has got a centre point up here somewhere. The centre point is going to be 40 away from the edge of this circle, up in this direction somewhere. So it's going to be 40 up there somewhere, but I don't know whereabouts it is. But I do know the centre of this one. It's 25 from there to there, and if I add on the 40, it makes a total of 65. So as before, I'm going to set my compass. I'm going to be really careful, set it to 65 this time, because it's 25 plus 40. Put my compass point in that fixed point that I know about, and draw another arc. Now where those two cross over is where I'm going to put the pencil or the point of my compass in order to draw this top tangent point. I have to remember to set my compass now to 40. So I'll go back, reset my compass once again, really carefully to 40 millimeters, and then I'm going to put my compass point on here, and trying not to get my hands in the way too much, I'm going to draw my curve there. Now, somewhere along here I've got a tangent point, and somewhere on there I've got a tangent point. How I find them is, I take a straight edge, and I line up that fixed centre, and I line up where I put my compass point, draw a line between the two of them. That then gives me TP. I do the same going the other way, so I take my straight edge, I line up where I put my compass point, and I line up the centre of the fixed circle. Draw a line between them, that gives me TP. So what I did with this one is I added on the small diameters here, or the small radii here, and then I added them to the radius that had been given for the tangent curve. So in this case, that point there is 65 away from the compass point, and this one is 55. I'm now going to do the bottom. It's a similar way of thinking, but you just have to think about it in a different way. Once again, here are my two fixed points, and I know that this curve here is going to have a point where the compass is going to go up here somewhere. This point here on this curve is 75 away from the centre where the compass goes. This point around here is 75 away from the point where the compass goes. But I don't know exactly where to put my compass point. But I can use these fixed points again. This point is 25 millimeters closer. This point is 15 millimeters closer. I know that radius is 75, so for this one here I'm going to take off 15, because I know this point is 60 away from the area that I'm looking for. So I set my compass to 16, 60 even, really carefully set it to 60, put the point in that known position there, and I draw another arc. I'm ignoring these ones now. These were for the previous curve. This is a new one. This point here is 25 millimeters closer than the outside edge. So again, my radius is 75. Take away 25, leaves 50. Set my compass once again, really carefully. 50 millimeters. Put the point in this known position. Draw an arc. There is where my compass point is going to go. I reset my compass to 75 because that's the radius of that curve. 75 millimeters, and again, without trying to cover over the drawing too much, I'm going to put my compass point there, and the compass is slipped. Put my compass point there and draw my arc. Somewhere along here I've got a tangent point, and somewhere along here I've got a tangent point. What I have to do is use my straight edge again, line up this centre with that centre, that will give me the tangent point for here, then line up this centre with that centre, that will give me the tangent point there. So there's tangent point, and lining up the centres, tangent point there. So I've now got a picture the same as this one here. Now, your task is to look at this, which is these two circles here, and this time we're going to use a combination of taking away a radius and adding on a radius, because this one goes that way and then it goes to the outside. So you're going to use the skills that you just learned on the previous example, and you're going to apply them to solving this one here.